All right, we are now recording.
Well, we have an agenda, but, unfortunately, I forgot something, which was we have to elect the chairperson and secretary.
Right. I nominate Sal to be our chairperson again this year. Let's second, based on good performance, great performance last year.
Second. Any discussion, please? No, all right, okay. All in favor, yeah?
Aye.
You'll be taking notes, please.
I'm doing it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right, let's have, discuss the, minutes from the
Yep,
3/25
last meeting, yep.
Yep.
I make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Second.
All
I
those-
make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. No update from the town administrator, no update from the finance minister. We can't discuss the timeframe of the mechanics report or the buildings report.
Without him, yeah, right.
We can't discuss the sequence with the meeting with department heads because we don't have Jack here. Okay,
Except one thing under sequence.
yes.
Well, then we can come under number 7. Keep going.
And then, I would like to discuss to what extent we want to review the
Yep.
following items.
Let's talk about a few of those, at least some preliminary discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
We may need Jack to weigh in on some of them, but
Yeah.
I think we should talk about a little bit of that.
Sure, go ahead, talk about them.
Well, cemetery, Scott, you're on that committee.
Yes.
Is there a need for the CIP committee to be looking over that group's shoulder for what capital? I
At
don't
this
know.
point in time, no,
I suspect not.
no, because the equipment that's used up there is primarily, mowers that are all under the CIP. Any major equipment is loaned from the highway, so
Right.
that's already covered. So at this point in time,
That would be my opinion as
Yeah.
well. I just wondered.
guys are
because even vehicles go in the cemetery, a pickup truck or whatever, that's
Yeah.
usually
Usually a hand-me-down, right?
hand-me-down from
Right.
highway.
Sure.
So
Sure,
at this
makes
point
sense.
in time, I could not think of anything
Yeah.
that would fall under the CIP.
Yeah, and your financials are starting to look pretty good, right? I mean,
And we've already started our summer estimates and looking at, getting work started. We're putting out an RFP for the tree work.
Good.
And I already got them pricing on for the hard pack for doing the roadways
Oh,
up
good.
at Canaan Street.
Yeah.
The only thing I haven't caught up with is I'm gonna start with Pellerins because they got a smaller machine, about if they're willing to put hard pack through their paver.
Hmm.
We've done it for years. It's a matter if the owner wants to do it, because it is dry material.
Yeah.
You don't get the lubrication that you get from the oils in hot top.
Right.
But if we put that through a paver, you delineate, that sets the exact width and depth of what you're putting down.
Nice.
Well, it's good to see the cemetery group in good hands, finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they're doing well, they actually have a group now. And they're
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
doing
right,
stuff,
exactly.
so-
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and now,
Yeah.
right now, the biggest thing is that learning curve of getting up to speed, and we've already been through the as far as the financials of it, as far as lot pricing and stuff, because nothing had been changed since like last update, I think it was 97.
Wow.
And so you have to set your rates. If you're gonna do a full burial or cremation, you have to set a rate that's at least going to cover the cost of doing it.
Yeah. of
You've
course.
updated those, right?
Yes, they take effect this month. They're
Okay.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
The next one on the list says library.
Yeah.
So in the past, the library has not needed much except for building, but that falls into the buildings category, the columns, the painting, all that. That wasn't a library. The library operations, the most expensive stuff in the past was computers, and they don't fall into the $10,000 threshold. I'm not aware of anything else the library needs other than, again, building stuff, which I
That's under building
believe
maintenance,
should be under building.
because they
So-
are technically, the library doesn't own the building.
Right. The town does.
The town owns that building and
Right.
allows the library to operate out of it, so the building itself all comes under our town
Sure, sure.
building structure. The only thing the library actually has is what you see in there, the books, the shelves
And computers.
and
as I said.
computers.
So in my opinion, I'm not sure there's much of anything CIP related
Yeah.
that the library would need.
I agree.
That's what I was thinking.
I
What do you
don't
guys think?
know of anything.
I don't either.
Well,
Okay,
Go ahead.
my concern is that the library gets lost.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about fire department, police department,
Yeah.
highway department,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. Other buildings, the town office and such, and the library gets lost. And
library
so
building has it.
I want some way to be able to hold it up so it's visible, so we don't forget it.
I
Well,
agree,
and-
but I believe we'll do that in the buildings, under
Well,
buildings.
Well, it's not
Treat it
happened,
as a major
it's
building.
not happened so far.
No, see, I'll tell you what I
think it
think.
has. I think it has. We've
No,
done
because
that
2
building.
years in a row.
One guy at a time.
There's,
one guy at a
there's
time.
no money, there's no money in it for it.
Oh, you're talking about a separate money fund. That's a different discussion. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute, no, it's not.
What I mean is, the CIP committee in the past, under buildings, has gotten the library, painted twice in the last 10 years. Has gotten the columns in front of the front door replaced because they were rotting. So the building was being maintained and CIP money and the buildings fund was being used to do that. That's what I mean. It is a town building. We have one town building fund.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
use money from that
yeah.
to paint and repair that building. We have.
Well, it's maintaining, that's one thing.
Right.
But trying to improve it, like take care of that third floor
Well,
or, or
that's
look
what I was
at-
gonna bring up, is that the only thing that would fall under, and here again, it actually falls under the town building, of which the voters voted down money 2 years in a row on.
Right.
I think what we've got to do a better job on there, for the town buildings, is we've got to give more of an itemized list under explanation of where that money is headed.
Yeah, one of the things that I brought up at the budget committee meeting is once we have finished the budget and got the warrants, budget committee is gonna go out to all the groups we can find in town and explain to them what all these things are and why they're important.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have the budget committee is gonna have little groups like you'll go visit with Friends of Canaan Village. And, whoever we can, garner up,
Because the footnote could
because
be.
it's no good. And the way it's working now, it's not, I don't
Can,
understand.
can't there be adopted a plan? A 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, whatever, a 20-year plan, so that we can say to people, in 5 years, we're gonna have a new town office. It's gonna be computerized, it's gonna be digitalized, we're gonna put all these records on,
Yeah, one of the things that's
I mean,
going,
I
sorry,
mean, I'm talking about a long-range plan that people could understand and look forward to, and then we can put it in the CIP, and it'll be there.
yeah, one of the things that is going on, I don't know, now I'm trying to keep it as low profile as I possibly can, because the last time it never did work. There's something called the Economic Development Committee, and that was started, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
That started about 4, because it started just like a year before I came on.
Yeah, so anyway, and it started with a lot of momentum. There was, Corinne Morris and Tom Opel and Mike Sampson were the initial drivers behind starting something. I jumped in, Mike Reese jumped in, a couple other folks were around. We started to do some things, but nothing ever got done. There was nothing getting done. There was a lot of talk, but no action. So I had Amanda Isabel, the superintendent from the schools, come over, you know what I mean, to be a regular participant in it. But nothing ever got done. It's a lot of talk, no action. So I said, I'm done. I'm not, I can't waste my time with this.
Oh, see, Mike asked me to sit on it, if nothing else, as a
Yeah,
community.
Teresa
rep.
attended.
But when you
maybe
have the meetings, he had the meetings 10 a.m. in the morning.
Forget it. So anyway, so that kind of thing, but,
Yeah.
Opal got elected to the,
To the house.
whatever. So he disappeared, so the thing just kind of There was a lot of good work done, a lot of legwork done. You know, we did a lot of research stuff that's still around, it's not yet cleared. Back in December last year, December, Tom Uplinski, I don't know if you know Tom, it's on the budget committee. He helped get the dental program going before he and Mike Sampson had a fallout. He called me up and said, listen, you know, because he was on that committee as well. He said, look, we should revitalize that thing. I said, well, what? Want to do nothing again?
Yeah.
You want to sit around and talk?
Make
You know,
so-and-so
We
go.
could do that at a bar anyway. You know, we don't have to have a committee to do that. Anyway, he said, no, I want to be serious about it this time, you know. Anyway, so long story short, I called up Opal, I called up Reese, and said, hey, listen, you guys want to, if we're going to do this, I want to keep it small, right? And get organized and figure out what we're going to do before we do anything. You know what I mean? I want to lay the foundation. A lot of foundation has been laid. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But anyway,
You must have been central.
one of the things that we did was we had a non-public informational meeting. Select board. We went over a great number of things. So now to the punchline. We've asked the select board, you know, if they're willing to, at some point in time, try to figure out shortly, not in the long term, but a revitalization plan for downtown. And, you know, that's something that's on the agenda and, you know, we're going to start to work through it. So that's to your issue, Tom, you know, about a long-term plan for what we want to do downtown.
Yeah.
There's a million moving parts, I can tell you that. And, you know, once we get more than a few people in the room, we're doomed. We have 4 little groups, that subcommittees of that crowd coming in. One of them is the communications group. That's what I'm running. I have some helpers on there. I have Monica, who's helping me with that. Brian Armburst and Nan Stone. And we're responsible for communicating things and getting people on the same page. That's basically what we're doing. And we've been visiting with a number of places. Like yesterday, I had a meeting with both lake committees, the Goose Pond and the Canaan Lake crowd.
Mhm.
You know, your friend Karen, and you know, and so and then I had a meeting yesterday with Friends of Canaan Village. And we're partnering with the Friends of Canaan Village on our next project, which is sidewalks. We're working on figuring out sidewalks. You're crazy. But so anyway, we've done things, the banners of the Economic Development Committee that you're seeing go up around town. We put a proposal before the select board and they were gracious enough to actually accept it for new lighting for the town, which is going to be a savings.
Mhm.
And we're now starting to work on this thing. But one of the long-term issues is figuring out a real plan so that we can tell people, this is why we need you to fund these crazy things.
Now, getting back what Tom was saying.
Yes.
The libraries.
Yes,
That third floor, there was supposed to be an engineering firm take a look at what they would consider the weight capacities up there now
Mm.
for expansion of the library. My thoughts on that was, because they said they didn't know if the floor would carry the weight of bookshelves. Well, we know that the second floor does, so use the third floor for your computer access center. You don't have heavy weight on it. But this is something, as far as setting money aside, could be footnoted that for continued renovation of the town hall for library expansion. So at least there's some direction given to the people of why it's being done and where it's.
So does the library want to get bigger? Like what, Maria?
They've
Hi.
been talking about
Nice
it.
to see you. If I could comment on that. At least twice in the last 11 years or so, I've been working on CIP. Some very good ideas have come up about utilizing that third floor in a variety of beneficial ways. The big problem that always sunk all of those ideas is elevator access.
Yes.
The cost of elevator access to that floor is prohibitive, has always been anyway. Anything else you want to do, you got to afford to do. But to get elevator access up there, killed every project, every idea everybody has ever had.
And
That'd be the thing we would have to find a way to overcome if you want to do anything.
You depend upon the
Get a
elevator.
dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
Depending upon the elevator that's put in there, obviously you could spend,
Because there's elevator in the senior center.
The point was something that would be ADA acceptable. That's really what it comes down to, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's to be ADA, so, I mean, you have to have accessibility.
Because I
And
know,
that's what always drove the cost up.
I know they had approached Chet about, and that's where, I don't know where it went. There's supposed to be an engineering feasibility study done of that top floor for usage.
I hear you, I understand, yeah.
So I don't know where that ever.
Just wanted to mention, don't overlook the elevator part.
So the question
Okay,
is,
so-
library, yay or nay? No.
Library is part of buildings, but
Buildings.
I really think it's part of the whole building thing, and I have seen it dealt with for building maintenance in the last 10
I
years.
agree. We're on number
But-
7, by the way.
We're on number 7, but if you want
We'll go back to number
to do
number 2 in
expansion,
a minute.
if you wanted to do expansion or something like that, that might be a totally different category.
Yeah, and like I say, it
Just like,
that's
if I
still-
may, I'm sorry,
Sure.
just like community center, if there were to be one, would be a separate project from the building CIP.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
If you want to do library expansion,
We'll have a
that's,
conversation about, community center allocation.
I know we will.
monies.
Yeah, I
That's a
hear you.
joke. All right, but anyway.
anyway, all right.
Next, recreation. We don't really need to look at.
In the last 11 years, the recreation department has needed one item from CIP, and that was asphalt for the basketball court.
Mhm.
That was it. So there isn't much, it's not really worth our spending time on here as a committee.
Is there anything that the town recreation crowd would be looking to do in twenty
the only thing I can think of generally, at least from my experience, is, if you're doing like redoing a baseball field, if you're
Yeah.
raising to get out of a floodplain, for example, because a lot of times these fields are in low-lying areas,
Mhm.
sometimes they flood seasonally.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna redo and make like a real baseball diamond with infield
Well,
stuff.
upgrade the equipment for the kids.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
that
That can
kind of
get to
stuff.
be 200,000-300,000,
I,
fencing, lights, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
but you should be able to see that coming down the road a bit.
so it's something that we should just review. We're not gonna get into.
Yeah, so far, all that stuff has been,
We'll mention
has
it.
happened through donation. So far.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Transfer station, should we put that on the?
yes, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
No, hang on. We'll
Go ahead,
Hey, easy now?
No, I have to be energetic. I'm only here 2 days a week.
I know, go
Right,
ahead,
right.
speak.
Well, the transfer station is a mess. We've had a major failure of the live bottom trailer that we use in the transfer, and so we're at this point, we're trying to scramble up to get a couple of extra boxes and then have somebody haul it and so forth. I do have about 10 days, I've got a consultant coming in from New Hampshire Recycles, free help, free
Sounds
guys.
nice.
To give us some advice on what direction to go in. I have drafted an RFP to have somebody else take over the transfer station because we shouldn't be in the transfer business. We don't do it well.
Mhm.
It's been messy for years. And this is something I suggested 3 years ago and it kind of got crushed.
Yeah, well, at one point in time, several months ago, I asked about the transfer station and I was told that there were proposals coming in. And I asked if you wanted me to look at them, I would be happy to look at them with you, but I never heard anything.
And the rest of the story on that is they never had enough discussions to generate a proposal because the person to whom they were speaking, I've also been speaking with, and he said, yeah, I never heard anything.
Yeah.
So he never did anything.
That seems to be the story of a
So
number of
I'm
us.
resuscitating those conversations.
Yeah.
We had a nice, about an
But
hour.
we're gonna put transfer station on our.
Oh, yeah, that should be on our radar, no doubt about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely gonna cost enough money and need some
Well,
equipment and,
potentially.
Yeah.
But at the end of my process, I'll be coming forward with a plan,
Mhm.
which will include operating changes as well as capital changes,
Right, right.
capital improvements. Now, the question then will be how those get paid for.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for that yet, but one way to do it would be to have, let's say we have Joe's disposal service come in and manage the operation.
Yep.
We staff it with attendants. And then they take it over and they manage the waste and do it in the right way and complying with all the right things and get everything where it's supposed to be. It's not inconceivable that they might advance the costs of the capital improvements, and we would pay them over time out of the management, the operating contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do,
yeah.
Not unlike
Makes sense.
frankly, the LEDs.
Yes, I understand.
Right.
Same idea, sure.
So,
I get it.
but I don't know.
On a
that.
bigger
So
scale.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be terribly complicated.
Yeah, we do
need
have
to-
some monies, right, in the transfer fund, small, right?
I don't, is there a transfer station fund?
Yes.
Yes,
There is a fund.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. All right.
maybe I don't know what's in it, but.
I don't
Not a
remember
lot.
that being
Not
a
a
separate
lot.
Not a
CIP
lot.
fund.
Because remember, we made sure to have money in it because of the building conditions over there.
Yeah,
But-
you've
But
got,
we took that money out of the buildings to take care of those buildings.
Well, there was a warrant for $7,500 to go to the transfer fund station.
Right,
So
right.
that-
won't get you.
But it was to get.
Now-
it was to spend money.
I understand everything.
That was
last
a warrant
time-
to
I get
spend
it.
money,
The
not
last
put money
time I
into
was-
any unique fund. As I recall.
The last time I was in there, the little shed that the guy, that the attendants has black mold in it.
Yeah,
The roof leaked.
doesn't look,
Uh,
not good.
The walkway to the compactor was rotten and it was held up by 2x4s.
That has been repaired.
Oh, thank
Oh, no, we've done some things.
The
over
deck
there.
last year,
Yes,
we did.
There has,
We
there
had-
has been some things, you got it?
So excuse me for saying, this is Carrie Ann's list of the
Does she have
CIP funds. There is
We
no
got that.
transfer
They
fund.
had
Okay.
overlooked.
It has never been a unique fund.
Why
Okay.
hasn't somebody followed?
We've taken
through?
money and appropriated it from
We
the
had
buildings
that
fund.
complete- The deck has been
Spend it.
completely redone.
So where does the $7,500 that we?
Or from, excuse me, or from the highway capital reserve equipment fund to buy a skid steer, for
No, I
example.
understand. Where
They're
does
actually
it
waiting.
go? Where did that
Didn't- wasn't-
$7,500 go?
According to them.
You don't say go.
Carry in, where did it go?
Shape. The stairs that go down.
What do you mean go?
No,
Oh,
really.
the town approved the $7,500.
It was I'm sorry, I believe that was a proposal to spend money to buy a piece of equipment. I don't know if we,
No,
no,
there was a plan to buy a skidder at one point.
that's
we
what it
did.
was. We did that. We bought that.
Well, we'll come
We'll
up
I
get to that.
can't
You
answer
gotta-
that
we're gonna
question,
put transfer
but there
station.
is no transfer station unique
Water and
fund.
sewer, we're gonna put water
Yeah.
and sewer as a serious look?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Because,
Okay.
you know,
We're done with that.
we have millions of dollars worth of work on the water system.
Yeah.
Um,
But you're donating, right?
What's that?
I said, you're donating that money?
Uh,
You're.
I'm only donating 1.47 million.
That's just a starter fund.
You have to come up with the
That's
rest.
the.
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but some of that, as I think I mentioned at the most recent
Yeah.
select board meeting involves, is increasing the fees for the next 5 years, because you're
Yeah,
borrowing.
we saw that
millions of
proposal.
dollars.
It's already been proposed, right? I mean, you have it out.
Well,
Where did
I
I
put
see
it, I put it out there. It's on the website now,
That's
Yeah,
what-
I saw
okay.
that, yeah.
and I
I
did
see.
that up from my recommendations 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because it should have been done then.
Should have
You
been done, yeah.
you literally have several $1 million you borrowed that you have to pay back.
Mhm.
And right now, your water fund runs at a deficit.
Yeah.
You're in the hole.
That's been the story for years.
I know,
Yeah.
we gotta change that.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying that.
People want to get those debts paid.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've got water and sewer on our radar.
And
Let's go
sewer
back
runs-
to number
Sewer
two.
runs at a deficit too.
Sure.
The tricky part of that one is going to be the idea that the town's voters believe, as I do, as do I, that all those monies need to come from user fees and not from taxes.
Right.
And that may not
Which
be,
is true.
that's true, that's supposed to be the case. Whether or not it's possible to ever actually achieve that, given the hole we're in right now, is another story.
There's actually a
Remains to be
statute
seen.
which says you better achieve it.
Yeah,
You're an enterprise fund by law.
Yeah.
You have to have fees.
Ah,
to cover
there you
the
go.
operating costs.
Because it's an enterprise fund, you're right,
Yeah.
you're right, you're right.
That
Okay.
said, the town can participate as a customer
Ah,
because we use sewer
Mhm.
right.
and we use water.
Right.
And we have 58 hydrants. So we're a user like
User.
everybody else,
Sure.
which is why in your budget, I believe, you're still putting in $30,000 of the money from the general fund into
we
the
are
water fund
subsidizing.
because the town's a customer.
For the hydrant system.
For the
Yes.
hydrant systems,
That's
for
correct.
flushing, fire protection, that sort of.
Right, right.
So we do a similar thing with sewer, but that's only part of the story, right? Like, I'm just about to spend this year, while I'm here, $175,000 to replace the sewer pumping station.
Right.
Because we have to, because the governor's office, DES, has come down, they said, how could you let this go on for 9 years? And we said, I don't know. So we gotta do something about it. That money's gonna come out of the general fund, but it's a loan. It's gonna be due from the sewer fund.
Right.
To repay the general fund.
Yeah,
That's
Okay,
why you gotta raise rates.
Yeah. so
We
So,
have,
we
we
wanna
have
put
none
that,
of those funds to.
we just wanna put that on somewhere.
Yeah,
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, there's one more item I'd like to add to book number 7, which is really in number 6, but I think I want to talk about it for a minute, and that is the ambulance service. Much like water and sewer is an enterprise fund, the ambulance service is supposed to be an enterprise fund.
yeah, we're gonna come to that now.
Oh, we are? Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
it's on
I'll wait
number
then.
6.
I didn't think you were gonna do number 6, but
Oh,
okay,
yeah, I'm gonna
fine.
do number
Jack,
6.
All right,
Jack,
good, all right. Go ahead.
Jack said we're gonna do number 6.
Go.
I didn't know you
So
said.
now he goes on the hot seat.
Okay, so is there any, we've approved minutes, by the
Go
way.
back to number 2.
Yeah, we approved minutes. There's also that's gonna be the chair of the committee, and Tom is our note taker. So any update from the town administrator about what we want to be doing?
About
with the
CIP in general.
Committee in general.
Yeah.
We know Carrie Ann's gonna be more involved.
Yeah, I just had my first glimpse at the whole thing here. I actually think it's a pretty impressive list. That this little.
We've gotten better.
This reconstituted
We've improved.
list.
Yeah.
It has improved.
I love the idea that the roads are listed. Because
Yeah, we had a back and forth about that, but I think
Right.
it's a good idea. We've
Right.
done it. Now, there are some problems with some of the roads.
Yes.
Like the road you mentioned, was it Bear Road or which road was?
Oh, there's-
Back Bay,
Back Bay
Back
Road.
Bay.
You know, it's half and half or something, and Sawyer Hill is on twice because it's half and half. You know, there's a couple of roads that are not
Right.
accurate totally, but
Right. When I was here 3 years ago, based on the 20-year history of terrible road care,
yeah,
putting silt on them instead of gravel.
we understand. We're now making
We're
much
coming
better
up.
progress.
This is a huge positive step. And one of the things that I was pushing for was you want the citizens to understand what roads are up for renovation, restoration, or
Yeah.
reclaiming,
Exactly.
and they get to decide. You know, you can hear from them. If
Right.
you don't want to spend the money, that's fine. But these are the priorities.
That's right.
Every single community.
Yep.
Gives short shrift to the road conditions until it's too late.
Yeah.
You get decades down the road and it takes decades to recover.
Yeah.
You look at the calendar, you got things going out 15 years. Because it's wicked expensive.
Sure.
And so.
And communities are notorious. They say, let it go by and then put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
And then,
That's a short-term
That
fix.
makes it worse.
yeah, and then they complain
Wasted
about,
money.
the roads.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. So this is a good start. I
Yeah,
like
so it's a
it.
good start. You got the latest version from Carrie Ann?
This is
We're
one-
gonna discuss that
Yeah.
in more detail, I believe, under number 9.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
When we get there in detail, I've
All right,
got
but
some comments
thanks-
as well.
Thanks for that.
So-
Jack. We don't have an update from the finance.
Any other updates from an overall point of view besides the tool, Jack?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any other thoughts or updates from your point of view about CIP in general beyond just the spreadsheet, the tool?
Not yet. No.
Not yet,
It's a
okay.
little- Because this is
All right.
my first.
Unfortunately, Carrie Ann is not here, so we can't get an update from the finance manager. There's something called the mechanics report. Have you seen that?
I saw the one 3 years ago.
Okay, and it's gotten better. We gotta get Guy. I mean, I can sit with Guy and go over what we're really looking for. But, the one we have is okay. It's not exactly what we really want yet. You want me to sit with,
Yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure.
I'll take it.
Because, I can't remember the system we use where they actually use a ticket system to track the labor and materials that go into vehicles, a lot like a service station would, or if it's just whatever.
I'm not sure
this is
if
just-
he's still using a,
Didn't we have something?
we did at one point, we had a, work order system
Yeah,
internal just for a highway that they monitored.
yeah.
And, so
Yeah.
We should have a system to track by vehicle, the
Yeah,
dollars that go into it, and then prioritize it by the
That's-
dollar
that
amount.
would be nice if you guys could get that for him.
Yeah.
Our interest
Let me-
is,
let
we
me-
want to have his take on the equipment. So that when the department head comes in,
I did speak to Guy here a month or so ago about that. Would he please generate, as he could, a vehicle condition report? Because Garen, he worked hard at it.
Yeah.
But didn't have a full toolbox of tools to, generate it with. I mean, he was not sure of everything he was looking at. Guy is,
open up your book, you'll see that it's in there.
Yeah.
We put what we got from.
yes, but what I'm saying is Garen did the best job that he was capable of doing.
Understood.
But I don't believe that it is as accurate as it needs to be, because there are areas of concern that he
Yeah.
did not have knowledge
Understood.
to
Yeah.
identify.
Yeah, he did some, what's his name? Guy did some other, like some of the stuff that's in that was more updated information from Guy.
Yeah.
But, so I'll talk to Guy about it and make sure we're getting what we want out of that.
Sure.
Buildings report, that's up to the town administrator to, because there's no one in charge of buildings. Until you hire somebody who's in charge of the buildings.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that underlines my point, that
Yes, sir.
the buildings get lost.
well, I
All of
think we made a little step forward last year, Tom. We did get a buildings report last year, you remember?
Well,
And if you look at the new spreadsheet, you'll see that it's a little different than last year. It ties into what carries on her world, you know? If you look at the actual detail behind it,
Okay,
you'll
well-
see it's a very different format.
Yeah, shoot that to me when you get a minute, or tell me where it is. The buildings report?
Buildings
Oh, the
report.
buildings report. Yeah.
Last year was the first year we had a buildings report.
We
So
didn't-
it was a start.
Is that something that Chet did?
Yes.
Yeah. I think.
I believe it's also in the,
It's also in the
in your
book.
report, yeah.
say, I believe it's.
Oh, okay, all right.
Should be in
Yeah.
it. But it was the first year, so it might not have been all that thorough
Well,
and
that's great.
complete, but it was a beginning.
Sure, I'll take a look at it.
We
Yeah.
can,
I'll
we
send- if
can
you
look
want
to
the-
improve on that.
If you want, I can send you, so you don't have to look for it. I'll send you the last version.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. Yeah, because
We
I,
did actually.
I think the administrator put it together. What's his name?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I believe Chet put that together himself.
Next page over, so.
There is so we're making some progress on getting data before.
To
we
work
do the
with.
department, So
Yeah.
that, when they come in, we have something and say, well, this is what they're thinking. What do you think?
yeah, no, I think that's great. I actually, we obviously haven't filled that position yet. We're kind of,
Well, we haven't written a job description yet, have we?
no, yeah, because one of the things we're trying to figure out with Barry at cemetery and transfer station retiring and blah, 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 and the other conversation around the transfer station, how we're going to utilize the cemetery sexton, what do you call it?
Sexton.
Yeah. And what else we're gonna do with them, because obviously it's not, we need somebody to dig graves
Mhm.
from time to time.
Yeah.
And we need somebody to maintain the buildings, perhaps with a little more time. So we've got those two job descriptions, I guess, to see how we
Yeah.
might meld them together. And I actually interviewed somebody today,
For
a position,
which position?
to be determined position. But what I like about him is he's young, energetic, and local.
Okay. The thought, so, because you missed all those things at the budget committee meeting level, which is really where we got into that in depth, was, that we need somebody to have the buildings and the cemetery as their focus.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
I mean.
Yeah.
So they could write the buildings report in effect.
Yes,
You know
yes,
what I mean?
no,
That was
absolutely.
the plan.
Absolutely, yeah.
And things like light bulbs, the kids at the library wouldn't have to be getting up on ladders to change light bulbs and that kind of thing,
See,
So
the step backwards that we actually took.
Right, Monica?
I don't know nothing.
Cemetery maintenance was always a seasonal.
Yeah.
Job.
Yeah.
And it was being done by a gentleman for a number of years that he did cemeteries in the summer and drove school bus in the winter. He didn't look for other work.
Uh-huh.
Then a man was hired, he did cemeteries in the summer and worked with the highway department in the winter for snow removal. And at that time, we farmed out the mowing of all of the town lawns. Then they did away with that and had cemeteries, gave them another man and did town mowing and cemeteries.
Mhm.
They were also given the chore of taking care of buildings. Then they lost the position, a person at the transfer. And so Barry was trying to take care of these other three things and part-time help with him. So they gave him the position over at the transfer too.
Mhm.
So he essentially, they took 3 40-hour-a-week jobs, give it to one person and said, don't exceed 40 hours a week.
That never worked.
No, and I mean, and this is where we are, is we've got to decide, what do we want to do for a breakdown?
Mhm.
Because during the summer, this time of year, on a normal year, the grass is growing. To mow the cemetery lawns, town lawns, and do your spring burials, it's pretty much full time.
Well, don't we have something in the budget for, 2 part-time positions for the summer?
And last year, we filled one that was there, to my knowledge, for the summer. The other one, they finally hired somebody the first part of August. And 2 weeks later, they left because they were going elsewhere.
Mhm.
I'll look at it. I still have to get my head around it.
Yeah.
If you want some help looking at it, I'd be happy to sit with you.
Yeah, I want to, it wouldn't hurt to
Around.
kind of brainstorm a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the concepts I was thinking about was to just have somebody kind of on call for grave digging
Mhm.
and pay them a stipend,
Right.
make it up, $150,
Mhm.
something like that. And because those fees are typically covered through the funeral home and the
Right.
person anyway, so it's
Mhm.
not like it's gonna affect our budget. But you just kind of carve out the burial things. There's not a lot of them. They're obviously weekends, mostly nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe. One concept, and then, so you have this job and they get a stipend to do the cemetery, so something like that. Because it wouldn't be a bad thing to focus on the buildings, at least for some period of time till we can do an assessment, make some progress and clean some things up. But again, I also have to look at the mowing grounds thing, as I'm not quite sure how that kind of comes in. So we gotta look at it.
I'll be happy,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to send,
Yeah.
give me a call, tell me a time, I'll come visit
Yeah.
with you and we can,
Yeah.
I'll help you kick it around and figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because there is a fairly positive resource out there who's very anxious to stay busy. I said, well, it's just under development, so if you can walk with us a little bit while we work out the kinks, I said, I think that might be pretty good.
well, yeah, that
So we'll
makes
see.
sense. I mean,
Yeah.
change as you go,
No, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean,
And
we've had so many changes in all those 3 areas, that
Yeah.
we've lost our focus. I'm so glad that you reconstituted the cemetery trustees, because that is very critical, and it was a huge gap
Yeah.
for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I met with those people and I think,
Yeah, progress is being made, but slow.
yeah, no.
And it's not gonna get, it's not gonna get much faster, but we'll just, as long as we keep
we're
building.
trying to put the fires out one at a
we can
time.
just- there you go.
Very meaningful.
So
Really
speaking
is.
of which, let's move
Yeah.
on to discuss the actual department needs.
Yep.
We're gonna definitely be covering police, fire, ambulance, EMS, highway, road maintenance, bridges, and government buildings. Those are the ones that we traditionally get
Right.
deep into. We're
Yeah,
adding
right,
EMS,
right.
so get into it more.
That's the one where I wanted to talk about the ambulance EMS category. I've been told in the past that the ambulance operation was an enterprise fund and that it gets funded by the 4 towns involved, each making a contribution annually through the budget, through the general fund, and that that operation was supposed to be, I'll say,
Say it.
self-funded, so to
Yeah.
speak, and not self-funded, I mean, the towns pay for it.
Fine.
But- But after that, once every town makes their fair share contribution, that money, that great big pot of money was supposed to be used for both operational as well as capital. That's always been my understanding. Last year, I was blown away to see the town talk about a capital reserve set aside from Canaan in Canaan's capital reserve fund. I don't understand that. I'd like this committee this year, not now, not at this meeting today, but I'd like this committee to achieve some clarity with your help, Jack,
Sure.
as to where does that monetary obligation belong? Is EMS truly a CIP Canaan Capital Reserve account? Or is the CIP truly an enterprise fund like the Water and Sewer Department, for example? That kind of thing.
Yep, no, I get it. It is intended, as I understand it, not required, but I think it's intended to be, I'll say a quasi-enterprise fund, but it's an enterprise fund. Let's look at it definitionally the same as we look at water and sewer.
Yep.
Because fortunately, it's acting in the same way because it's losing money.
Yeah.
Now that
It's
said,
consistent.
the year before last, the margins of operation versus expense were a little tighter. There was an effort this year and last year to try to expand the amount of business that we do by doing interfacility
The
transfers.
transfers, they were gonna try to earn some money through transfers, yeah.
And last year and this year, you have apparently ramped up
Starting
staff
better, all right.
and to make yourself available to do that 24/7. Only problem was the interfacility transfers haven't materialized. And so, about 2 weeks ago, I sent out an email saying, this has to stop. You can't be spending $14,000 a month on overtime and not have any business. So we've got to change that.
Right,
We've got
right.
to pull that back a little bit. And
Sure.
now I'll say, having started ambulance services before, that there is a period where you lose money and you have to wait and build and do some customer things and adjust fees and so forth. So it's a balance between what you're doing, what you're charging, and what your expenses are. And it's a growth thing. It really is not, it's not a strict formula because reimbursement rates change, the laws change.
Mhm.
You're prohibited actually from doing balanced billing now, although some reimbursement rates are up. So it's a mix. It's a mix of stuff.
It's a business.
That said, we have to adjust going forward the prices that we charge for our customers. And right now, you're not charging enough. That is not a secret to anybody because we know, for example, that we should be charging Grafton 160 to 180,000. We've agreed to them to let them pay 50 so that they can come up to speed gradually because they didn't have the money to pay 180,000 because it didn't budget it. So all of our budgets, of course, are driven by some statutory parameters that we have to comply with. So they need to raise the money before they can give us the money.
Mhm.
And so that's what that is. So there's a method to correct some of that. So we have had to pull back on expenses and labor, wait for that revenue to kind of catch up. Do a more strategic assessment of where do we think these interfacility transfers are going to come from, and how much of that can we rely on? But to come back more to your central point, keep in mind the town of Canaan is a customer, and so to the extent that
We should be
Canaan
paying.
general fund,
Absolutely.
contributes
General
to the
fund money is
operation.
fine. I
My,
think his
Yeah.
point
from
was.
CIP point of view, I'm just
Right.
trying to say we need to clarify
Yeah.
where capital equipment money comes from.
Right.
How it gets funded.
Yeah.
There can't be some blend that changes from year to year
Sure.
between general fund and a capital reserve fund.
Yeah.
That's not right. In the last couple of years, those waters have become muddy.
Yeah.
I understand all the challenges you've described. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
But I think just putting my blinders on for a minute, being a CIP committee member, I think we need to have clarity around what is truly Canaan CIP.
Yes.
Do ambulances, inspectors and all that
Yeah, we
come
should,
within our capital reserve.
we should be able to. I can't do it right now, but we should be able to identify much as if we were a customer like Canaan
Right.
and do pricing for our own purposes.
Right,
As if
right.
we were a customer.
I hear
And
it.
so that we become basically the fifth customer.
Yeah.
In the same way that we become the 123rd water customer.
Yeah.
Based
Yeah.
on.
No, I mean, we should be paying for services.
Mhm.
That's pretty clear, right? The
Right.
question is, I think,
But we do.
I think the point that you're trying to get at is, that we put money into a capital fund for them.
In addition to money we put in through the general fund.
Right.
Both.
So
Yeah.
last year, we
Yes.
put 100, what was it, 180, I think,
Yeah.
in the for
Yeah.
that budget, or 150, I can't remember which one it was, but, and then we put 112,000 or something into a capital reserve.
That's what bothered me, the 180,
And I-
a
and I
big chunk of that
understand
was
it,
supposed to be for capital.
Yeah, we discussed it, we kind of let it go last year, but we're gonna get into it deep this
You
year.
need to achieve clarity on
Keep
that.
one
That's
thing in
my
mind.
big, that's my only
Keep one
point.
thing in mind, that as an enterprise fund, they don't get to make decisions
No.
where they get money from and how they spend it. That
Agreed.
still has to come from the taxpayers,
Yeah.
the same way it does for water.
Yeah.
Because your citizens authorize
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
borrowing of $2 million for this and $3 million for that for the water and sewer.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the warrant article says kind of to be paid for by the users over time. And when that formula works, it works fine. But it would still have to come through
Right.
the town warrant article and town budget.
I'm okay with that part of my thing is the
Become
CIP.
available to the
capital reserve.
enterprise fund,
Mhm.
right? Then
Yeah.
how you do the math, allocating that cost back, either operationally or a credit, if you will, somehow.
Yeah.
What's the value of Canaan's capital budget to produce this ambulance, and how do we account for
All
that?
right, well, let's talk about the CIP for one thing.
Yeah.
We-
The good news
Sorry.
on the revenue side is the last couple of years, our revenue from the town of Grafton has been zero.
No, I know, we've got a good
This
deal, we've got a
year-
good deal going.
Yeah,
We've
this
got the
year
deal
we
going.
got them
It's a
at
start.
50,000.
I don't know why it was ever zero, but it doesn't matter where.
That shouldn't have been allowed, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got Dorchester straightened out, right? We're
Yeah.
doing the whole of Dorchester now?
I don't think so.
That was on the table, but last I knew, we had only signed to do, I remember we signed to do the front half. Plymouth was doing the back half.
Right.
I think-
But if Plymouth does not have an ambulance available, we respond and we get paid for that.
Here's the problem.
Okay,
When you take
'cause I
on,
knew there was something.
Yeah.
when you take on another community, let's say you took on all of Dorchester, you have to build up your resources. We call that a readiness fee.
Mhm.
Because your costs associated with operating the ambulance fee don't change. Whether or not, it doesn't matter. If nobody calls 911, you still have to buy a $300,000 ambulance, or $80,000 worth of stuff. It costs $1 million a year to keep an ambulance on the road 24/7.
Mhm.
General thing. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are. You're gonna spend $1 million because we all pay the same price.
Yeah.
So you don't want to take on Dorchester wholly if their expectation is you're gonna put a truck over there with people.
Mhm.
Because they're gonna have to pay $1 million. If they're.
Yeah, I
gonna
was
suck
just
it all
asking
up.
you what
Yeah.
happened to it,
Yeah.
because I knew there
Yeah.
was something afoot.
So
and
I don't know
there was some
the
discussion
necessarily
about
the
it.
answer to that, because at this point, what am I, day 5? No, how long have I been here? Seems like 100.
Forever.
But we gotta work all that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these are things,
All right, that was
That
my comment. We
we're
need
up
clarity
against.
there.
not only do you have that cost, but when you take on a town like Dorchester, it's the time factor due to logistics, the geography
Mhm.
of it, that you can do 4 runs in Canaan in the time it would take you to do one
One
run
run.
on the other side.
I never got good. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the other thing, that the
Understood.
interfacility transfers, they can take an entire day.
Yeah.
Because in the EMS agency that I started, I've had one ambulance traveling to Boston, Hartford,
Yeah.
Albany,
Go ahead.
Portsmouth.
Yeah.
You're gone the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have to make sure that the revenue you get from that interfacility transfer actually recognizes you got 2 people in an ambulance all day long.
Sure. Yeah,
And they're not
yeah.
doing anything else.
Yeah.
And that takes that ambulance out of service.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's that balancing act, and
Yeah.
and you can't get there overnight.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah,
to
because
take-
just Hitchcock, Mass General, You got a 6-hour round trip.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, so police department is gonna come, they gonna come first in your mind?
I don't care about sequence, doesn't matter to me.
Well, it should,
Mhm.
'cause I mean, if they're ready.
They're
you know,
they're the least,
that-
I
right,
think they're the least burdensome one. If I look at the age of their vehicles and
Yeah,
stuff,
they're
they're in
fine.
pretty good shape.
Yeah, they just,
So I-
there is a problem there that we, you know about, right? Which is we
Yeah,
authorized hiring another officer,
but not the vehicle.
but not the vehicle.
Well, foot patrol is.
There's gonna be foot patrol and I bring down a bicycle for 'em,
All
mostly.
right, well,
Mostly from
but,
Chappie's.
so
to
that,
the-
and that's gonna be
from
Ryan,
Chappie's to the
obviously,
Methodist
right?
Church.
Yeah. Okay, you wanna do fire department, no, who's gonna do fire department? That's gonna be obviously, we don't have anybody.
I'm advertising for the fire chief. I've got 7 applications.
Oh, okay.
So far.
So we will have someone.
Well, I hope so. I'm hoping to have somebody in place on or before Labor Day.
Okay. Ooh, that's what down.
I know, right?
It's
So
not an overnight process, unfortunately.
No, I totally understand. So we're gonna move them back in the sequence of events. Yes?
Keep down the end.
Yeah. Ambulance EMS, is that gonna be,
Well, that's connected.
Don't
Because
get me, if I could just amend my comment, really, don't get me wrong.
isn't
We
that
can,
Steve? Isn't Steve, what's his name?
well, Steve is the assistant.
Yeah,
But my expectation of the fire chief is that his background in EMS will be greater, will be significant. So he's really got to run the department manager, because you need somebody with experience running an agency. So I would be reluctant to separate those two.
all right, so highway then would come next, cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then road, and
so
that's.
wait, I'm sorry, hold on, go ahead, back up. Ambulance, you were just there a minute ago, and I had something to say.
Sorry.
Don't misunderstand my earlier comments. Yes, this committee, I think, can and should review the ambulance EMS plan.
Yeah.
All I was asking for was financial clarity.
Yes.
Between.
Yeah.
General fund, how much money the town of Canaan gives that enterprise fund, and whether or not we need a capital reserve fund. Those are financial questions, but I do believe we should review their plan. We
Yes,
can be,
absolutely.
we can add some value by providing
Sure.
advice and consent, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So then,
So where do they
that's
come in the
gonna be
sequence?
Bob
Did you
Henry?
skip them?
Yes.
Yeah, Bob is gonna do both of those,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be
And
fine.
who's gonna do bridges and culverts? Gonna do that one too, or are you gonna do that?
I can do that one.
And
We
you-
know what those, I actually just got an update of those. The short answer is with the Potato Road, Transfer Station Road and Grist Mill, the town will have to own about $768,000 worth of those costs.
Mhm.
Now, that's a total of about $12 million worth of construction, so
Nice.
it's still a pretty good deal.
Sure.
And as to Grist Mill, it's actually 100% paid for by state and federal dollars.
That's what we understood last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And we've already expended roughly $500,000.
Yeah.
Right?
And so this afternoon, literally at 2:57, I got some updated construction.
From
costs.
ATV?
Good.
Yeah, let's get those bids out because then we can start collecting some money.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
You headed home?
Huh?
You headed home?
I'm gonna try to get that way, yep.
I just need to catch up here a few minutes, not today necessarily, just, you gonna be around tomorrow
Yep,
around here?
yep.
Okay,
Or just give me a call anytime.
okay.
Yeah, so I've got a spreadsheet for that. And
So did you want to do bridges and culverts before we do highway? Give people more time to get their ducks in line?
well, culverts is probably, well, culverts would be Bob. Because
Okay.
culverts on normal town roads would be a separate conversation
Right.
from culverts associated with reconstruction.
Right.
Although that's in there too, because if you look at like Goose Pond.
Right.
There's like 50 culverts.
Yeah.
That's all part of that $2.8 million project that you now have $1.4 million for. So we need to look at that because that's gonna be, you're gonna need more money to do all of Goose Pond Road. Because right now, you only have enough money left to do half of it.
Well, let's just do half an hour.
So what happened there? Why did that cost double from the original?
Well,
cost?
it didn't double.
In general,
What I don't understand.
from what I just heard, it sounded like it might have doubled,
No,
but.
that was always a known thing. I look back at the emails from 2024. HEB was advising us that this was this is 2.8 miles of road. You've got two sections of it, from Talbot Hill
Yep.
to Hingham,
Yep.
Hingham.
Yeah,
Hickson-
Hinson
Hickson
Brook Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then from Hickson Brook to
To
the
Hanover Town.
Hanover
Yeah.
Town line.
Yeah.
The first run is 1.3 miles, the second one is 1.5 miles. In 2004, December of 2004, HEB sent an email saying that, hey, folks, this is really a $5.4 million project.
Wow.
For some reason or other, and I don't know what the conversations were. Chet advised you guys to borrow 2.7 million.
Yeah, we were
That
never
2
given
point-
that
That
other.
2.7
Right.
million, some of that 2.7
Was
million
also for,
was Switch Road and the other road.
Right,
River Road.
River Road.
River Road.
Now that ate up $1 million of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So you now have potentially just enough money to do the 1.3 miles.
right, to get to Hinson Brook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That's
honestly don't know what was
probably-
presented.
I think that's probably, I don't recall specifically where the start and end was for the.
Right.
It was supposed to
Back then.
be from Talbot Hill to the Hanover Town line.
Back then, in the
See,
email,
I don't
back then in
know
the
that for
email,
sure.
HEB
I do.
was,
Yeah, okay, well, then there you go.
HEB was suggesting that you could do it in two phases. And that's probably where you're gonna end up.
I think
Now,
that's-
he might have, I just don't know. I'm not saying anything bad. He might have said, this 2.7 will do Switch River and phase one
In phase one.
of Goose Pond.
Yeah,
Road.
yeah.
That would make arithmetic sense.
Sure.
Right.
I just don't know what was presented.
We were not presented with a phase one, phase two. Like you said, we were presented with the lower number, but the total road was the.
See, I don't
Implied.
remember, I do not recall where where the start and end point was.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was involved with that. I went out and did some of the assessment work
Mhm,
on it,
mhm.
and it was supposed to be from the corner of Talbot Hill to the Hanover Town
Yep,
line.
it was supposed to
And because I went out and did the assessment on those larger
Okay.
culverts for them. But they also, it was presented to us originally just over $1 million estimate they were given, and then add money in, which was going to bring it up to about 1.7, 1.8 for Switch Road, River Road, and that. And then the last number I saw going into our deliberative session was the 2.7.
Right.
Right.
That changed, that just arrived, and I was never consulted as far as why it went
Yeah.
up to that, other than these are new prices. I was never given any information as to phase one, phase two. It was always Switch Road, River Road pavement.
Yep.
Because the rest of the work was paid for, and then that 2.8 miles.
Understood, and I will add to that. No one, to my knowledge, no one ever presented that $5 million plus number to anyone.
Ever.
I've never heard it.
That never came out,
We knew it was in the
Wow.
inbox.
was never presented. I hear you.
That's what I
Yeah, yeah.
say.
Wow.
I'm still combing through stuff to see
Yeah.
where we're at on these.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think, I mean, obviously, I think you're probably right, Jack, because we're gonna wind up obviously with getting the short route done.
Would seem that way.
Then talk about, how to get the rest of it done at some point in time in the roads business,
Yeah, yes.
Because we have other.
So that's why I bring it up. It just
Yeah,
needs to.
thank
just
you.
need to track.
And I think frankly, the people who, God, when Mike Reese hears this is going to be interesting. But Mike runs the Goose Pond Association.
Yeah. Well, no, I already disappointed him because he was told by Chet
Yeah.
Construction would start this year.
Oh, no, I know that.
Yeah.
It was never
Yeah.
signed, and
And
I
I said-
got all
I
that
said,
story.
Mike, I've spoken to the engineers, this road hasn't even been designed yet.
Yeah.
So,
So it's all, and not only that, the number that you got was from, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So the world's gonna change, we know that.
Whoa.
All right. But from a sequence for us, we're gonna do police department, we're gonna do, bridges, culverts, government buildings, and then we'll do highway, and then road, and then fire and ambulance. How's that?
Wait a minute, give that to me again.
Sure. Police department first,
Yep,
bridges, culverts.
Yep.
Government buildings.
Yep.
Highway department,
okay,
road maintenance.
Yep.
Fire department, ambulance, EMS.
got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, that's good, and we know who's gonna do those, that's even better. Okay.
They might not know yet, but we know.
Well, there's one who doesn't even, we don't even know who the person is yet.
Who's gonna do highway
Bob Henry.
and who's gonna do road maintenance?
Bob Henry.
Bob?
He might sit in on, bridges and culverts if Jack so.
yeah,
Oh, he'll,
And who's gonna do government buildings?
Jack. No, or a new hire, maybe.
Or both.
And
I'll do business on right after I mow the lawns at the
And-
cemetery.
But have you mow the lawn, okay.
fire department and
That will pay you a stipend. I'll pay you when I pay my grandson to mow my lawn.
If you come
Fire
across any dead
department
people,
and
let 'em know.
fire department and ambulance.
Sorry, it's gonna be, fire department, and it's the TPD,
Who?
Determined.
Could be,
to be
okay,
determined, yes.
all right.
We just advertised the job.
Some of it depends on the schedule, because I could still probably call upon, Chris Olson to participate with at least his history. And I have asked him to be thinking about kind of a strategic plan that we could probably, that would help the new chief come up to speed.
Well, we didn't start meetings officially last year until August 6th on any of these.
Meetings with department heads.
Yes.
That was the first department. head. Yeah, we had meetings, 1 or 2 meetings before that,
Right,
but
but
the
the
first
department-
department was early August, yeah.
Yeah, it was early August.
Yeah.
So that's when we'll target somewhere around there. I'll work, I'll post some kind of schedule on that. That gets us through them all.
And we asked
the-
for a mechanics report then sometime
In July,
before.
yes,
before
and the
then.
building report, both of them
And,
we want, yes, before we meet with the department, heads. So we're talking end of July for the buildings and, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That way we'll get it as close as we can to.
Right, we want to get you stuff early on, so you have a chance to marinate it in a little bit.
And we'll talk about it, July ends, end of July. Or, middle of July, somewhere in there. We'll talk about it. I'll get to you and confirm it before I commit for you, Jack.
Sure. I will be away from like the 19th to 27th of August.
Oh, how nice. Good. I think I'm gonna be away somewhere around that time. I got a wedding somewhere out in Reno or some such crazy place.
Yeah. I'll be,
So you were thinking of August, sometime in August to start the meetings?
Yes. When are you away again? August what?
my phone fell in a bucket of water, so I think it's the 19th. Yeah, no, I know.
Are you 3 years old? August
I
what?
wanted to see if it would float.
Yeah, okay. And you now know.
Let's
The
say
only
the
way to turn
19th
down the ringer.
to the following Saturday, which would be the 29th. Somewhere in that range.
That's some bearing on what we do. Okay,
I'm thinking about it, Fred, give me a sec. It's gonna have a lot of bearing on how you schedule, because if you don't have the last of these departments all covered by, let's say, the last week of September.
Yeah.
We'll never get the plan pulled together in October,
I
which is
understand.
the timing you need to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be in better shape this year getting that report done, because I don't have to
You
deal,
don't want to do what you did last year.
I don't have to deal with this insanity. One of the things that I'm gonna do is Carrie Ann and I are working on is, how we had trouble producing the tables, right? Well, we're gonna have the spreadsheet she's gonna produce is actually gonna produce the tables.
Yeah, and that I can see how you can do that, yeah. Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
What I kind of figured out, unfortunately, these tables here are a wonderful thing, but his son was still developing the program.
Oh,
Well, we're away from that. We've gotten over. we're
No,
away
I'm
from
just
that.
saying, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
no.
part of our problem last time.
I know.
We didn't get to
I
that.
tackled it all, you know.
No, I'm just saying that, I mean, we don't have that issue this year with it because
Right.
we have a table that we can adjust and
We're gonna come to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get
just saying that from a scheduling point of view,
Right. Well, if you think about it.
with Jack, with
Let me
Jack
figure
being
it out.
away, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You wanna find a way to get them done
I think
By
I don't think it's gonna be a
September
problem.
21st or so.
I don't think it's gonna
Got
be a
it.
problem.
Okay.
I think we
And
got
then-
it.
I would love to be able to we'd love to be able to get all this stuff to you well ahead, like a month ahead, so
If
that
you can,
when you get to the meetings,
gets tough.
you can cut to the chase.
Right.
Yeah, well-
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, it
we'll
needs
get
to be
there.
done before the meetings, not at the meetings. We learned that last year.
Yeah.
Some of the department heads came into this meeting and had not done any of it in advance. And it did not go well.
Yes. Yeah.
We went too slow. All right, go ahead.
All right, so that's good. And you know, Wednesdays, 4 o'clock is when we're gonna do them. And we'll discuss, we just did that, we did that. Hi, Chad. Hi,
Excuse me,
Chad.
excuse me. Well,
Yes, sir.
Wednesdays at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Once a month, twice a month, how often?
Well,
Once a
I
week?
don't- I think I wanna talk to Carrie Ann because I wanna get her,
Right.
because we're gonna have to do the spreadsheet. So we'll have some meetings coming up in June.
Right.
Right.
You might want-
July. We're gonna start these meetings somewhere around August 5 or 6.
Right. When you
And
get,
we'll get 2 of them in before he goes on vacation, and then the other 3 we'll get after. he goes.
that's where I'm coming from. That's
I
what
got
I
it.
want to think about. Yeah,
I got
all
it.
right,
We're
good, good.
I got that.
Got it.
All right. I got a little note from Miss Zandell. I discovered another layer that will affect the CIP budget for the fire department. In 2004, the town purchased the fire rescue truck from the capital reserve, warrant article number 9, and paid 50% down. Remaining 50%, $292,500 will be due when the truck is delivered. Unsure when that's gonna happen, is our comment in parentheses. And this was never factored into the CIP plan to reduce the capital reserve amounts. I just wanted to put this on your radar, so it's not.
Oh, no. Oops.
Whoops.
Whoops. So we thought that entire amount had been,
So we'll,
Okay.
you know, just so you know that there's, you know, Carrie Ann, I wrote back to her, by the
Yeah.
way, ever diligent and vigilant, thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out, but there's a little fly in the ointment there.
yeah,
for
yeah.
Roughly 300 grand. We got
Mm.
to. What?
He probably ought to get a raise for just that one point.
Well, yeah, she's worth it.
She's
With
diligent. The reason we're cutting back on, you know, paying attention to what the EMS is doing is because she paid attention to it. By the way, just
Yeah,
so you
good.
all know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready for number 9?
And now let's go review of the
Are you ready for
spreadsheet.
that?
I'm ready for it. It's like I wrote back to her. I said, I don't know how much we can get done without you today. So at some point in time, we're gonna have to have but if we have comments and things that that we can get done and let her know about, so that the next time she comes in, she can
Yeah.
deal with it.
Okay.
So any comments, quotes?
I have a little bit of discussion. Some of the details will wait for a time when she's available,
Yeah.
but I reviewed her spreadsheet in great detail,
Mm-hmm.
went through it. I was blown away by how thorough and extensive and detailed it is. Somewhat automated. She did an amazing job on that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I believe I understand the relationship between the different sheets, how they get pulled together and all that.
Mm-hmm.
She used VLOOKUPs and formulas and all that. Very well done. One concern I have is he knows that now inside and out. And for this year and next year, whatever, it'll probably work fine. But I'm not sure in the future, if she were to move on to another job, we hired another person, they would be able to handle that spreadsheet. It's pretty complicated.
You know,
Because she built it, she understands it completely.
I'm gonna say, I think.
What do you
that
think, Jeff?
Anyone with the acumen for Excel the way she does will be able to pick it up.
With that kind of
They'll
acumen,
understand the
absolutely.
formulas and they'll understand the sequencing.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like she did.
The difficulty with Chet was he kind of encrypted it all and had his own special. thing.
Yeah, I
He had
understand
to
that, but
undo
okay,
that
good.
button
Yeah, yeah.
In order to make it
My only other concern,
If I stop into the office tomorrow.
Yeah, one thing I might recommend, and I know that initially I want to stretch it out, what this goes to, but to see my optometrist be able to read this. Sometimes I collapse some of these, 6 through 10 years out. And I lump everything in future years, because this is a lot of data to look at on a piece of paper. So you don't really, to me, you don't really need to identify things out specifically year by year through 39, 40, 41, 42, because it's a long time away.
we don't usually carefully review except the first 6 years.
Yeah.
The rest of it is all built by the algorithm that says if this truck needs to be replaced every 8 years, then every 8 years, every eighth
Yeah,
column.
But
Not that we
visually,
review the
you can
future.
compress them, hide the cells. That makes
Oh,
it
you can
easier-
hide them.
That makes
Yes.
it easier to see.
Yes.
Oh,
behind
no,
the cells.
No,
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah,
generally,
yeah.
as you know, we only need to, officially report 6 years into
Right.
the future.
Right. And that's what we
And
review
we
carefully.
focus heavily on that,
Right.
but having the ability to see out into the.
Sure, no, and I get that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when
Just formula driven.
we're not gonna be printing, when we review these things, right? We're
Yeah.
not gonna be reviewing it more
Hmm.
than 6 years.
Right.
I have one other comment of a
We
general
might.
nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll look at it and say, oh my God, if this is the appropriations that we go forward with, we're gonna wind up short, $500,000 here.
Right.
And you need to know that. That's why we go out that far. So we can amortize it over a longer period of time. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, what we look at physically on pieces of paper, we can determine, whether it be 6 years or 10 years.
Yeah, but some of these lease purchase are going to be a 10-year lease
Right.
purchase.
And
So I think show the whole 10 years of that
Right.
payment.
Yeah, for us, for our purposes,
Mhm.
right, yes,
So I have one other
sure.
area of, I'll say, 'cause again, I'm very impressed with all the work she did, very impressed. I want to emphasize that.
Yep.
That was one concern that we need, it means that you need that level of acumen forever, basically in that position. To keep that going. The other area of concern though is this. It's highly automated in the following respect. Let me use an example just to illustrate, but this would apply to every line item in the spreadsheet. Suppose a particular piece of equipment, I don't know, we don't have a bulldozer anymore, an excavator. Suppose you put it in there with a 10-year life. In this program, on one place, you put in 10-year life. And the next one we think we'll need to replace in, I don't know, pick a year, 2030. Okay. The program automatically will plan another one in 2040, 10 years later and 10 years later. If, as the time comes and we approach 2030 with that replacement, and the equipment report looks at that piece of equipment and says, that's really good. We don't need to replace it in 2030. Let's move it in the plan to 2031 or 2032. That's assuming that's the right thing to do. The spreadsheet doesn't allow you to do that easily. That's my point to you guys.
Yeah,
You have to change the life
Some of that.
to
is
11 or 12. Wait, let me finish. You have to change the life to 11 or 12 years
Yeah.
to get it to move there, which means the next one after that gets planned 11 or 12 years after that,
Potentially.
which I don't particularly like. My own recommendation was that the department heads should be able to look at the plan. Each department head only has 10 or 12 pieces of equipment to think about and say, in the next 2 or 3 years, I need this one, and this one, based on the condition report. And the future plan doesn't automatically get changed just because somebody changes a life number in one spot.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a concern.
Yeah, the other
Go ahead.
element, of
I'm
that,
done.
I get you, is those formulas and those timelines are driven by a decision or not as to how much capital dollars you're gonna put across the line, the aggregate number. Because if you say, for example, we're only gonna put in $2 million in the CIP plan to be spread among everybody, then that changes exactly what you're talking about. Says, well, if you're only gonna put in 2 million, you'll never have enough money to do this, this, and this. So either change what you want or increase the amount you get in, because one's tied to the other, just like you say.
Yeah, one side to the
And
other.
so
So,
what I've done in other communities, using the finance acumen that I pay for, is you can see on a fairly simple colored line, red and green, if you change the CIP aggregate amount spread across all of your 6-year categories, you can see when you're underwater on funding or good,
Mhm.
so that you can see over a 6-year period, do I have enough money to do the things I want to buy in 6 years based on I'll say a fixed capital contribution. Now,
that's an
some
interesting concept.
communities-
We haven't started that way in the past, but maybe
some
we should.
communities have a fixed capital contribution. I don't care what it is. We're only gonna put in a percentage of the overall budget to capital. And so figure it out, kids. Others have a more flexible and say, well, put in capital what we need and the tax impact is what it is. And I don't know if you had those conversations, but there are ways to do that because if you identify the capital contributions as a percentage function of the overall tax impact or budget, yeah, either including the school or not including the school and all in, that's one mechanism of controlling the impact on taxes to be raised. Okay, you follow me?
I do follow, yes.
Um,
I'm just
But
listening.
it also has a domino effect of changing the wish list of people. Because if you're only gonna live within $2 million, you're not gonna get a fire rescue boat, which costs 700,000. You have to take it off the
Yeah,
list.
what I would,
If
what
you
I would
want
say.
a new engine, you gotta wait 3 more years.
Yeah, we have been, well, I'll speak for how I've looked at what's been going on, not just at the CIP level, but also at the budget level. Which is, there was a lot of catching up to do.
Yes,
And so we obviously, by default, we're taking the latter methodology, which is
right.
what the hell do we need and how much do we have to put in this year to
Yeah.
get to where we want to be in 10 years,
No, I understand.
right?
And-
And that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, there's no magic rule to that.
No, I
It's,
understand.
it's whatever the individual tolerance is. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of approach it like a hybrid that says, listen, we're always gonna need at least 3 million. We're just gonna need to increase it
Mhm.
because we're catching up. And we're gonna take 6 years to catch up.
Mhm.
But again, I just.
Yeah, that was our thought, was we were on a 7-year plan or something.
Okay.
like that, right? To get to where we wanted
Yeah.
to get to. Yeah, and we were in.
But it
year
just
4
comes-
of that.
Yeah, it just comes back to
So-
Claude's point that your timeline and your domino theory is a function of the capital dollars that go into it and your tolerance for increasing that amount.
Yep.
To follow the need, to recognize the need and to say, listen, it just is what it is. We gotta do this.
Yeah, and one of the
So
problems
that's
that we're
true.
having now, one of the problems we're having now is that for the last 2 years, town has not approved the buildings capital reserve account.
Right.
And last year, it did not approve the police.
Sure.
But we digress. But I'd like to come back to Jeff's point. You're right on the overall, and that's true, and I agree with all of it, and I follow it. What I was getting at was regarding the spreadsheet and the tool that Carrie Ann has built.
Yes.
On a line-by-line basis, dump truck, excavator, bulldozer. If you want to change the year, that piece of equipment, I'm not talking the overall budget and how it fits the total capital.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the tool. You can't move the bulldozer 1 or 2 years. You can't move the excavator 1 or 2 years. You have to change the column called life.
Okay.
On some other sheet, which affects not only that
Understand.
one, but the one after and the one after.
I understand.
That's my point is,
Yeah.
regarding the tool itself, I'm a little bit concerned about
Yeah.
over automation at a line level.
I have no doubt, but I can't prove it, that you can go line by line and introduce a formula or not. So that on some things,
Right,
you could be safe with that formulaic, move it out.
I
to
hear
4
you,
years.
yeah.
And on others, you can just move it from side to side without.
I
without
think
that
that's something we'll need
pressure.
to discuss with Carrie Ann. I just want to bring,
Yeah.
right now, she has that formula in every cell on every line.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's just that I think at some point in time, you might feel like you got your hands tied on a particular piece of equipment or something that you really don't need to replace, but the plan said you would.
Yeah, and I understand the formula going out beyond the 6 years
Oh, yeah.
probably is fine formulaically. Because
That's
you're
okay,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
revisit it every year anyway.
Yeah.
Internally, if you look at the distribution of capital expenditures over the 6 years in the aggregate.
Yeah.
If you're putting enough money in to fund all of them, then you get annually to review, well, let's just swap these two. Because we know we're putting in enough overall to cover it. This is where your bottom line, green versus red, when you're underwater on capital, when you flip one around to say, well, you know, I can't afford the $600,000 truck, but I could afford a $300 pickup, $300,000 pickup, based on contributions to the 6-year CIP.
Mhm.
So you can make your non-formulaic adjustments by flipping things
Yeah,
around,
okay.
saying, can you wait a little longer for this? How about if we buy this a year early?
Yeah.
And again, it just comes back to contribution. If you're not fixed on the contribution, the aggregate amount of money contributed, then you can maintain the flexibility over 6 years to know how much do I need to get to evolve through that 6 years, and you can swap them around. Because at the end of the 6-year period, you're gonna fund it all, arguably.
So it was just a word of caution about the fact that it's a very sophisticated tool with a great deal of automation. A month ago or longer, when we were here and I proposed that we create our own Excel spreadsheet, I had a much more simple, much more basic tool in mind that I thought each department head could maintain their own little spreadsheet of pieces of equipment, and we could put them together and add them up, basically. But this tool is way more, the way it turned out, it's not bad, again, not negative, just,
Well, remember, this is a starting point from the construct that she inherited.
yeah. Well, that's the
You can
point.
change that construct.
She did replicate the construct from Chet, I agree.
Yeah.
Whereas what I had in mind was from before Chet, a more simple kind of thing.
And that
I don't know, we'll see how this
that,
goes.
that construct actually works pretty well on
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah.
Which is probably the genesis that Chet used, because he and I talked about it a few years ago.
He was a roads guy.
And because a road is a road is a road generally, and
Yeah.
and whether it's 8 years or 10 years, you know, once a road, as we say, turns bad, you got to reclaim it. You got to start
It's
over.
bad.
Another year or two doesn't matter. But you can make those changes.
Understand.
Don't think you can't make those.
Let me ask this, Jack. I like Claude's idea about each department head having its own version. Would that be something that would be fairly easy for Carrie Ann to break out so that each
Oh, sure.
department head would have their own?
Yeah, she could copy these cells and move them over. I can't answer the question as to whether your department heads have enough Excel.
Yeah, they may not, right,
Proficiency.
right.
I'm gonna bet
No.
they don't.
Yeah, I think Carrie Ann sits down with these folks and
Yeah,
goes through all of
exactly.
this. in
And that's
detail.
easier for her to do.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause it's easier for her to walk them through it and
Right.
keep track of it. Cause then you.
and to
do one
allow them
person-
to come up with it.
Yeah. Well,
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
If I
nobody
may,
does that.
Jack, would you intend to be sitting down with each of these department heads to review their needs with them as their,
Yeah.
I'll say supervisor?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, more so than care, all right, fine.
Sure.
It's not the mechanics in that regard that I'm worried about as much as,
Yeah.
you know, who's pushing back the department? Do you really need that? Or why do you want, why do you want to upgrade?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Before it gets to you.
I mean, we do.
Maybe, yeah.
My goal would be to do that well before it gets to you, because we
Oh,
need
yeah,
to test the veracity of what they want and trim their wish list a little bit and focus them on what they need versus
Right.
what they want,
Right.
and help you guys understand
Well,
that.
But between you and us, after you've done that with the department head, it would then fall to Carrie in to help with getting the data into the tool.
Right.
Then come to
Because
us.
our pre-work is gonna help set the stage for you
Right.
to get a little more granular.
Right, yeah. Okay, that's it. That's,
Right? And so
Carrie did a lot of work on that. I
are
know
we,
you
are
helped her.
we okay with the way she's changed the requirements that, basically we have our purchase things and our leased things? You see that?
She did a good job on that.
You like the
Yeah,
comfortable with that?
yeah, she did a good job with that, yeah.
My feeling is whatever format she comes up with, because she's gonna have to manage and track this for you.
Right.
Whatever works for her, works for me.
That's
Yeah,
the way
that's
we,
what I thought about that. And I thought she did a good job with that.
she and I went through
Yep.
this, I think.
Yep.
Working
I'm
on
in
this.
another community where they came up with their own stuff, different than the finance person, the finance section. What is this? I don't even know this. I don't know how they came
Yeah,
up with
no,
this.
she needs to be
we have to be able to work with it.
We're gonna give her the responsibility that she has to have the authority.
And basically, as you know, the statute kind of says the budget committee gets to do what they want, working within the framework created by the finance people so that it can be executed.
Right.
Yeah. So it shares the system.
Yeah, one of the ways I look at, just so we all understand how I think, is when the department heads come in, they're giving us their needs. It's up to the finance people to basically tell us what it's gonna cost to do this ultimately.
Right.
And then we can decide how do we, move
Right.
that around. So,
Right.
I don't wanna hamper the department heads from telling us what they need independently,
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
I understand.
right?
Sure.
And then,
You perfectly well should test the veracity of their presentation,
right,
much like we have, because you learn from that.
sure.
Because you have to form your own opinion about, do we really need whatever the hell?
So, but it's important that they feel comfortable that they can come in here and say, this is what I need,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, great, but can't afford that this year, so.
Oh, exactly. No,
Yeah.
exactly.
Any other business then? Any other comments to carry in about the spreadsheet that we want to do?
No, I
now?
think those were, she did a great deal of work, very good work. And as long as she's around, I'm sure we'll be fine with it.
Well, I'm with Jack. I think that, anyone who takes that position will probably have the skills to manage it, and because it's to you and I, it's something that I don't get it because I don't do Excel now at this level, right?
Oh, I
But
get it. I
but
get what she
even if
did.
People
I
are,
wouldn't be able
Even if, for example,
there's a
even if-
lot of them that can handle
yeah,
that.
but even if I did, I have other responsibilities.
Yeah.
I understand.
And,
Yeah.
those get delegated to people who can do it.
Yeah.
So, we want to have another meeting and carry in to just go through this in detail.
It might be a good idea, but where are we now? We're in middle of May.
mhm.
So probably wouldn't hurt to do that in a few weeks, middle
agree.
of June sometime.
Yep.
So that this whole committee is more thoroughly acquainted with the tool
Right, well,
itself.
I think that we'll just go, I want to have one meeting to simply just go through this with.
So we understand it, so that when
Yeah,
they
good.
walk in August, that we're looking at a tool that's got new numbers in
I
it,
understand.
we won't be trying to understand the tool, we'll be looking at the actual
All right.
numbers.
So the next meeting that we will have will be sometime in June early, probably. And I'll work the schedule, which one that'll be, what Wednesday that'll be with Jack and Carrie Ann. And it will be specifically, to approve the minutes for this meeting and to go through the tool, have her take us through the tool.
Yep.
Is that?
Yep.
Fair?
Well, one more thing you might want to add to that, I'm sorry, Tom, is maybe by that meeting, you could have set a date when each of these department heads, you determine the sequence today.
Yeah.
You might say, hey, highway department supervisor, your planned meeting date is August 29th or whatever. You might want to try to get that in place by the next
Thank
meeting.
you. Appreciate that.
We can-
Go ahead, Tom, what else?
I did, but I forgot.
We both at the same time.
Oh, the numbers that were in the spreadsheet,
Yes.
are they the numbers that we had in the last spreadsheet of last year?
Correct.
I think she carried them forward, yeah, I think
What?
so.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
so.
Yes.
Carried all that forward,
I think
so,
she just carried it forward
Okay.
as an example.
okay,
if you will.
yeah, and so then when we start to work with this spreadsheet this year, we'll start with those numbers then and
And change them.
manipulate them however
That's not-
we need to do that.
Part of our pre-work with the department heads of the
Yes,
items that are
I
on
think
the
so.
list for replacement will be.
We only have at least one, major issue that we have to deal with, is how we're gonna fund the.
300,000,
Well, the three, that's another one, but that goes to Jack's point, right, which is, if it's missing and is something that's gonna be happening, right, we gotta figure out how to put that, in the pavement plan, if you will.
Yeah.
Right, for now.
Yeah.
Right, and that might have to cause us to adjust some other things, down the road. But
okay.
In a
Right.
general sense, I think you're right, Tom, that's exactly right.
yes,
And I haven't looked at this in tremendous detail, but that $768,000 local contribution to the three bridge projects,
Mhm.
in addition to potentially another $2 million loan to finish Goose Pond at some point, you should at least put on the radar.
Oh, yeah, well, we got a lot of things on the radar.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna buy the Methodist church, or we gonna, we got lots of things on the radar screen, but we'll get into those when we get into the detail of it, right? And plus you guys will have more time to figure out what you really wanna do there. Yeah.
Still hoping to see inside.
I was in there yesterday
Really?
with the Friends of Canaan Village.
That's still
That's part of my
skeleton,
other hat.
that's still skeleton lock on the front door.
Yep.
I've probably got a key that'll get in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I reached out to Wyman. I took a look inside, and she didn't have a key. So I haven't heard anything since. I'll have to get back to her. She probably forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I would think she wouldn't have forgotten that town might be interested in buying it.
Sounds a
No,
little
because she
strange.
was already,
Sounds a little strange. But, all right, I don't know.
I just don't know. Because remember, you have the building next to the town hall that's owned by the same people.
Right, there's two of them that you obviously have to be.
yeah, you got the old parsonage and the church.
Yeah, and the first floor that is occupied by the library is a beautiful space for town meeting, beautiful place for town hall.
Where is this now? In which,
The library,
oh, in the library itself,
which used to be different function.
yeah, I'm new to town, remember that, so I've only been here for.
But at a minimum.
They actually used to play basketball in there.
Notwithstanding the book load mathematics, and it's not rocket science, you know,
No,
you just spend a lot of money. You probably get an answer in about 15 minutes from a civil engineer. Because the book function is just a mathematical sort of percentage. Is you get some cramped town offices, you could put some people upstairs. I understand the issue of elevators, but there are ways around it.
Well, I don't know, Monica, would you rather be looking out the third floor or down in the basement?
Oh, upstairs would be great.
One of the critical.
I'm just not sure if the clients can make it, but.
One of the
Well,
critical.
I guess that's what.
See, that's the issue.
Yeah,
That's the issue, public access.
One of the essential determinants of an elevator for ADA is if the public is expected to visit that location.
Exactly, and her job in public is expanded. Yeah.
And if not, then the urgency or requirement of
It's
an
different,
elevator is
right.
less significant.
Right.
That said, for a couple $100,000, you can have a nice elevator.
and then is that a historic building?
It's not, I'm
I
not,
don't think it's registered.
yeah, I don't think it's right. I think it's just old and nice.
That's would be, it was built after the 1923 fire.
Was it?
Yeah.
After the downtown fire?
I do believe that's one of the ones that was lost.
And, yeah,
Because it actually,
Are you
the
looking
fire,
for a
they
motion?
stopped at the corner of High Street because of the bed and breakfast. I can remember when that's still.
All those in favor of adjourning, we have a motion to adjourn. Scott, yes, no, yes, yes, and yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate your help. Send Monica and Jack home.